So the passages of the Korban that we read, you should know, the halacha says, we're only allowed to read them during the day, not at nighttime. And the reason is because the Korbanot were only offered during the daytime. So you cannot do any makeup, or if you want to just, make up for what you missed, you cannot do it once it becomes night. The earliest time that you could start again is Alot HaShachar, it's the time of dawn. Now, there is a halachic dispute on when is dawn, and that's in the next halacha. But before that, I want to say that if someone ended up reading it at night, it's just going to just count as regular Torah learning. It's not going to count as in place of the Korban. Okay. פועלים משקיעים קום יכולים לסמוך על סביבת האומרים שזמן עמוד השחר הוא כ-90 דקות קודם הנץ. כדי להתחיל לומר את פרשת קורבנות, ואם עבר וקרא פרשת הקורבנות בלילה לא יצא ידי חובת הקריאה. Okay, so you have, it's called the workers' minyan. Some people, they pray very, very early, even before nets, and it's a bediavad situation. So if they're allowed to, there's a machloket on when it's alot hashachar. Some say it's 72 minutes before sunrise, and some say it's 96 minutes before sunrise. The Shulchan Aruch holds is 72 minutes before sunrise, and therefore, if you want to be lenient in those cases to bring in 96 minutes, technically you can rely on that opinion for those who have to wake up early, super early, because it's not considered bringing a korban in the Beit HaMikdash. You're just benefiting from the spiritual segula of reading those passages. Now remember, these numbers, 72, 96, these are seasonal minutes. In the winter, what we call an hour, halachically could only be 40 minutes. And in the summer, it could be over 60 minutes. And that's why we have the calendars, and it clears everything up. Today, I say in the olden days, they were more expert on, like for example, by able to look at the stars to decide when it exactly becomes night. Also, other signs on when to determine what time dawn begins. In today's world, because there's light on all the time, the sky is not as clear as in a natural setting. For example, if you were to go in the middle of nowhere and you're like in a mountain, not even on a mountain, but there's no lights from the buildings, you would be able to identify these signs of when it's, sundown, sunrise, all those things. But today we rely on the calendar. Okay. Next halacha says, מותר לומר בתפילת שחרית, אביה הווה מסדר סדר המערכה בלא הפסק בין תיבת אביה להווה. אף על פי שנראה כאומר שם הוויה, ומקום מקום טוב יותר שיפסיק מעט בין תיבת אביה לתיבת הווה. Okay. If you have the Sidur Avodat Hashem on page 73, which is right after Korbanot, we learn about a teaching the name of Rabbi Abaye. The purpose of reciting this teaching is to fulfill our sages, what our sages said, that even when the Beit HaMikdash does not exist, anyone who studies the halachot of Korbanot will be rewarded as if he has participated in offering them to God. Of course, anyone who is capable of studying the meaning of the words should do so. And Baruch Hashem, we have everything. We have English Sidurim today, that we have all the translations, so we're able to know what they're talking about. Now, what did this halacha say? It says, Abaye Hava Omer. Abaye used to say. If you say it too fast or swallow your words, it sounds like the Havaya, the 4-letter word of God. And we know that you're not allowed to say the 4-letter name of God the way it's written. The one that starts with Yud and ends with Hey. So when you say Abaye Hava very fast, it could sound like that. So a person who reads it very fast and does that by mistake, he's not considered a sinner. So some Sidurim made it Abaya Hu Have Mesader. They changed it a little bit in order to avoid that problem. It is not considered changing the Sidur or any of the whole. This is a teaching of a rabbi, and this is not a prayer. Unlike the Reform and Conservative, who actually changed the whole Sidur. They added so many things in the Amidah. It's like a whole different religion. It's asur to use any of their Sidurim. This is different. This is a teaching that is not even part of the prayers. It's an extra thing it's a learning section in the Sidur that you're allowed to change one or two because you wanted to prevent from what we said before. And we should know the Amidah was written by divine inspiration. The prophets wrote it. This is not some guy who came in and put it together. These are all holy works, what we read in the Sidur. So the Reform and Conservative changed that, and it's a very horrible thing that they did. One of the many horrible things that they did. The next halakha says, okay, now we're going to learn about, actually cut it off now.